You know, for decades, we all thought the biggest secrets were buried out in the desert somewhere, but that's all changing. We're shifting from looking at ancient history to confronting a really urgent modern threat. And this one, it isn't hidden under the sand. It's lurking right beneath the waves of our deepest oceans.
And look, what we're about to get into, this is not science fiction. This stuff is being pulled directly from recent high-level government legislation. This is the reality that's being talked about right now at the highest levels of national security.
And this is the absolute key. For the first time ever, United States law is officially going after objects that operate under our seas and, this is the critical part, move seamlessly between the air and the water. The official term is Transmedium craft, and they are now, by law, a top priority.
So what on earth could make Congress take such a drastic step? Well, it turns out the declassified data is showing performance that just seems to shatter our known laws of physics. This isn't a what-if scenario. This is the actual flight profile that's been described in recently declassified Navy logs from hotspots like Catalina Island. I mean, just picture it. An object drops from the very edge of space, hits the water at over 3,800 miles per hour, and instead of a massive explosion, it just continues on. No slowing down, it just vanishes into the ocean depths. So you have to ask, how is that even possible? One of the leading theories that's been briefed to Congress is something called scalar resonance. The idea is that this technology creates a kind of bubble or a field around the craft that completely nullifies inertia. If you can do that, then air, the vacuum of space, even solid water, they all feel like the same medium. For these things, our ocean isn't an obstacle, it's a sanctuary.
And once they're down there in that sanctuary, their performance is just staggering. During the recent House oversight hearings, we had admirals testifying that our own sonar systems are tracking these unidentified submerged objects, these so-called fast movers, zipping around at hundreds of knots. To put that in perspective, our absolute best, most advanced nuclear submarines, they top out around 35 knots. We are completely, and I mean completely, outmatched.
Okay, so let's take this from abstract data to a real place. We're going to zoom in on a specific hotspot, just 22 miles off the coast of Los Angeles, Catalina Island. This is where this whole phenomenon gets very real and very, very localized.
The accounts from this area go back decades. I mean, way back. In 1968, a game fisherman is looking through his binoculars and sees this. He thinks it's about to launch into the sky, but no. It just kind of plopped right back down into the ocean and was gone. And we're not just talking about distant, passive sightings here. In 1982, a family out on their boat watched as this large, yellow object maneuvered right underneath them, physically rocking their boat back and forth for 5 whole minutes. The encounter was so threatening, so deeply unsettling, that they gave up sailing for good. They never went back out on the water. So what is going on here, right? Why so many sightings of so many different kinds of craft, all clustered in this one specific area for over 70 years? All this repeated transmedium behavior, things constantly entering and exiting the water, it all logically points to one central and frankly disturbing question. And it's not just sightings. There's potential physical evidence too. Researchers using public sonar data identified this massive geometric structure about 3 miles wide right on the seafloor near Catalina. And the curious part, after it started getting a lot of public attention, the whole anomaly was suddenly blurred out on Google Earth. All right, now we get to what is, for my money, the most shocking discovery in all of this. This isn't just some passive presence, it's an intelligent one. And we think we know that because the statistical data shows a clear, undeniable pattern of deliberate adaptive behavior. The data just lays it all out. Before 1967, sightings were pretty much split evenly, 50-50, between day and night. But after 1967, it's like a switch was flipped. Suddenly, 75% of all encounters are happening at night. So the big question is, what changed in 1967?
We did. We changed. In September of 1967, the U.S. deployed an upgraded spy satellite, the Corona KH-4B. And for the very first time, we had high-resolution cameras that could conduct detailed surveillance of the ocean surface during the day. The implication here is absolutely staggering. The moment our eyes in the sky got better, they moved their operations into the dark. Researchers argue this isn't some coincidence. It's a direct, intelligent response to our own technology.
And it seems this intelligence can tell the difference between targets.
The data shows that military vessels are twice as likely to experience electromagnetic interference as a civilian boat is. This strongly suggests they can identify our most advanced assets and are choosing to interact with them deliberately.
And that interference, it can be absolutely devastating. In 1971, a communications officer on the aircraft carrier USS John F. Kennedy described this very scene. A massive, glowing sphere just appeared over the ship. All at once, communications went down, weapon systems went offline. For almost 30 minutes, one of the most powerful warships on the entire planet was completely and totally incapacitated.
So this all leads us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? We've got evidence of incredibly advanced technology, intelligent adaptation, and a very clear focus on our military capabilities. What is the mission here?
When you analyze decades of these encounters, a really clear protocol starts to emerge. As researcher Richard Dolan puts it, they seem to follow a consistent pattern. Observe our assets, test our capabilities, record how we respond, and then withdraw, silently. Every single time. It looks exactly like a methodical, long-term intelligence-gathering operation.
So, no, this isn't some random visitation. The evidence really points to a sustained, long-term strategic presence right here in our oceans. They operate with a kind of discipline that implies a clear policy. Their silence isn't fear, it's a deliberate choice not to engage, which shows they have total control of the situation. You know, we've spent centuries staring up at the stars, looking for answers, assuming that if contact ever came, it would come from above. But what if we've been looking in the wrong direction this whole time? All the evidence now suggests that the greatest mystery, and maybe the greatest challenge we'll ever face, has been right here all along, watching us from the deep.